All right, so welcome to today's episode. Today we are going to be looking at summary of the Lekki Headmaster from our students. So,
My name is Angel Christopher. I'm here to summarize the chapter 1 of the Lekki Headmaster.
My name is Anne, and I'm here to summarize the chapter 2 of the Lekki Headmaster.
My name is Catherine. We are going to summarize the chapter 3.
I will take summary on chapter 4.
Okay, I'm Tina, and I'm taking chapter 5 of the Lekki Headmaster.
Okay, everyone. My name is Emily. Today, I'm going to be running a summary on chapter 6 of Lekki
Okay,
Headmaster.
everyone, my name is Joy, and I'm here to make the summary of chapter 7 in the Lekki Headmaster.
So my name is Anita Victor, and I'm summarizing chapter 8 of the Lekki Headmaster. Good day, everyone. I'm Confidence and I'm here to summarize chapter 9.
I'm Godfirst Ikechi. I'm here to summarize the chapter 10 of the Lekki Headmaster, which is titled
Joyce, and I'm here to summarize chapter 11 of the Lekki Headmaster, which is titled
I'm here to summarize chapter 12.
and we are going to be giving summaries from chapter 1 to chapter 12 of the novel. And I'm not going to be doing the summary myself, but our students will be doing the summary. So they'll be coming one after the other. One person will come here and summarize chapter 1 for us. The second person will come summarize chapter 2 until we summarize the 12 chapters in the novel. So I'll be calling on the first person. They will just come, tell us their name and the chapter they will be summarizing, and they go on to the summary. Alright, so
In chapter 1, the principal, Mr. Bepa Adewale, was filled with mixed emotions on the assembly podium while he was given a microphone by the chapel prefect Angel. After that, he was about to give his speech when tears rolled down his cheeks, and everyone saw him and they were silent. Everyone saw him, and he was assisted by the vice principal down to his office with other staffs to go and console him and ask him what the problem was. Everyone was surprised because that was not how Mr. Bepa Adewale is. He was always an energetic person. Yes, he was lively with his students, and why they liked him was because of how he resolved conflicts in the school. He was nicknamed the Lekki Headmaster because of the old TV drama, The Village Headmaster. So taken by the VP, the vice principal, and other staffs to his office, they were asking him what the problem was, and
what was the name of the vice principal?
this is Gloria.
Class, what was the name of the vice principal? Grace. So no, it's not Gloria. Okay, continue. Let's clap for her now. She tried it. Let's clap for her. Alright, so before the next person comes in, that chapter 1, the beginning of the story, we saw normally it's a school garden, right? Is it not? And they were having their devotion that day. Normally, even in your normal school, after the devotion, somebody will come, maybe the principal and the rest will come and give announcements. So the principal came. What was the name of the principal? Mr. What? Bepo, right? He came to give announcement. Normally he's an energetic person, as an active person. But that day, as he got there, he took the mic from the person, and as he took the mic, instead of him to give announcements, he was just there holding the mic. He didn't say anything. People were waiting for him now. Oga talk now. They were just waiting for him, and he was there holding the mic until he decided to talk, but he couldn't utter any word. No word was coming out until tears started rolling down his cheek. He decided to talk until the mic fell out from his hand. As visible tears were now coming out from down his cheek, he didn't see any hiding place down his two palms. He used his two palms to cover his. So he was sobbing. Did he roll on the floor? But you people, students, before they know what was happening, calls were coming in that Mr. Bepo was crying and rolling on the floor. He was shouting, Egba, what's that Yoruba word? Egba mi o. What meaning what? Help me, oh God, help me, oh. Somebody that was just sobbing quietly. So as he was still sobbing and could not give any announcement, who took him to his office? The vice principal. Who was the vice principal? Grace, right? Now, and who was asked to conclude the devotion? Who was asked to conclude the devotion? Who was the chemistry teacher? Justin, right? Annabelle. So after we took him to who accompanied him home after he left the office? The guardian counselor. Who was the guardian counselor? Why was who was also a pastor? The physics teacher. Who? All right. Now, why was he sent home? Because calls were coming in. And to save the reputation of the school, before they say the principal of the school was, what was the name of the school? Stardom, right? Before they say the principal was just rolling on the floor, different rumors. So because of that, he was sent home. And we were not told the reason why he was crying in chapter 1. But as we go on in the novel, we'll see why he was crying. So we are going to take chapter 2 now, and the person taking chapter 2 is Anne. Clap for her, she comes. Clap for her. Clap for her. Now, is it easy to come and stand here? All right, please give her the mic.
Okay, in the chapter 2 of the Lekki Headmaster, we'll see where Mr. Beppo was still crying uncontrollably. After 5 days, he decided to open up, like tell them the reason why he was crying. So he said that because of a lot of pressure from his wife and children, they want him to relocate to the United Kingdom. That he loves stardom as his school.
He loves stardom. He don't want to relocate to the United Kingdom.
Yes, that he loves the school and he wants to be part of the students' growth. Being one of the founders, he has taught in the school for 20 years, and 20 years, 2 decades, and he became a principal. He has been the principal of the school for 4 years. So he was dragging his feet over the issue, and his marriage was like getting destroyed because of the issue. So we also see a part where his colleagues were talking about the dilemma, talking about his reaction. They were like, his reaction is so funny, because who would not want to go over there, seeing the price, the salary range? You understand? They were like,
his colleagues wanted him to actually go to.
yes, because he has better opportunity. He has already secured a job, a teaching job there, and they would have paid him £3,600 pounds, while he's earning 400,000. Yes, so they were comparing that there he will earn over 6 million, and here he's earning 400,000. There's someone raised an argument that if he's going to earn in pounds, he's going to spend in pounds. Then the clownish teacher, Mr. Audu, countered that, saying that even if he saves £1,000, that will be over 1.something million, that it will still be a great investment. Then the clownish teacher, Mr. Audu, also made a joke of going to replace him over there by adopting his wife to be the one that will travel instead of him. So we also see where Beppo has some retirement plan when he was thinking of what he would spend, because he was to retire at the age of 55, which was 4 years away. So he said that he would like to pursue entrepreneurship because he likes business, despite the challenges that businessmen face. He also talked about starting his own school because of all the experiences he has gathered from teaching for more than 24 years. So we also see where he thought about transportation. He also acknowledged the fact that when immediately you get a car for transportation, you start earning immediately, unlike other business. So he was thinking of ways he can also make money even if he does not travel outside. Then the last business he thought about was the farming, his farming business.
The transport business.
Sorry?
They didn't venture into the transport business. Transportation business.
They did not say if he started it. He was thinking about business plans.
What discouraged him? Because he was discouraged. Something discouraged him from going into a business. So what discouraged him from going into public transport business?
The fact that drivers would be
dishonest.
Not just
Yes,
it is money
and run, yes. So also the farming and the water business, farming and the agriculture, and pure water selling and bottling business, that before you start selling, or that, and his wife will refuse to fund any project here in Nigeria because of her plans for him to travel abroad. So he also in chapter 2, we saw where he thought that even teachers that are teaching there get insulted by students. We captured that where a teacher walked in and was called an idiot by one of the students, but he consoled himself saying that he can also handle it diplomatically. Thank you.
they can handle
The child
insult.
diplomatically.
Idiot in this class will handle diplomatically and okay. So that was a good one. Let's clap.
After Beppo finally decided to travel to the UK and United Kingdom, so he had a call with Sola, which is the former economist teacher of Stardom School. So they had conversation, they were talking, and Shola was telling him how he borrowed 4 million naira, and after they sold, the former economist teacher of Stardom School, and how they sold their stuff and still had to borrow 4 million naira for them to travel out, and how one of her daughter, which is Betty, her second daughter, was an asthmatic patient, and she had to call the 911, and they came with 2 ambulances.
911. That's the number they spoke of, the emergency.
Yes, and they came with 2 ambulances and 2 cars, and they took the daughter to the hospital.
2 ambulances and 2 cars to carry 1 person.
Yes.
Okay, the person was fine.
No. And her birthday came when they were staying in the hospital. The nurses and the doctor gifted her, and they also talked about how work is in the United Kingdom. You can work hourly, daily, or monthly, unlike Nigeria, where you have to work for a month before you pay. And they also talked about how some couples will travel out just to get masters and all of that. So the wife or the husband will be working while the other one is going to school. They used the case of a man. The man was there schooling, doing his masters, so the wife joined him. The wife was now working. Then the wife stopped paying for the man, and the man has to call the wife family. And the wife family saw reason with the wife, and that was how the man just stopped schooling because things were hard for him. While for the case of other people like Rike, she just traveled out. In 2 years time, she bought houses in Ibadan, 2 houses in Ibadan, while of a man who has stayed there for 25 years, yes, 25 years, had nothing to show up. And also for a man, because he was divorced by his wife, the man who stayed in the UK for 25 years and had nothing. Yes, his name was not mentioned. He was divorced by his wife because of bargaining. Bargaining means he married and lied that he has not married and married someone else. And we in that chapter 3, we also saw the case of Mr. Unku, which is also a teacher in Stardom School, who borrowed 2 million naira from this school and Japa, and the bus driver who tried to steal one of the buses with him and send his sons out of the country, but got caught. And when they asked him why he tried to steal the bus, he said because of this old jackpot friend and all of that.
Okay. What's the experience of that chapter? What do you think is central information in chapter 3?
Migration, Mr. Bible was
Immigration.
migration.
Immigration.
Yes.
Migration.
Yes.
Migration. If Mr. Benson
No, he was trying to get information on how things are over there, and yes, that's why that's why he had a call with Sola.
Okay, was he trying to see reasons why he would stay or go or something?
He was trying to see reasons why he would go.
Alright, let's have one. It's not good to
I will take a summary on chapter 4, and the title is A Case of Visa Denial. So it begins with Beppo in the night. He was about to say his night prayers, and then his phone buzzed, and it was a call from one of the teachers that usually intrude into his personal space, and it happened to be Mrs. Ignatius. So when he picked, he was surprised, and she was like, "He has come again." And he was like, "At this hour of the night, do you know what the time is?" And she was like, "Sorry, that her husband has brought his wahala again," indicating domestic violence or one or other things like that. So she started narrating how it all started, that her husband, they are about to go out, like travel out. She was taking the idea of,
Sorry, let me get this straight. Who and who was on call?
Beppo and Mrs. Ignatius.
Who was Mrs. Ignatius?
A student, parent of a student.
Parent of the student. Okay.
Yes.
So why did she call that night?
Because of some problem between her and her husband. Which husband?
Okay. Mrs. Ignatius was having problem with her husband.
Yes.
Okay. So Mr. Beppo now was the person that will settle the conflict, or what?
Exactly.
All right. Continue.
So it all began when her husband brought up the idea of Japa syndrome. So he and his family went to conduct this DNA test before they can get their visa and other things, and he discovered that one of the children, like his daughter Favor, is not his biological child.
Wait, one of the daughter,
Like
one of the daughters of the Ignatius woman,
yes,
was not her real daughter.
not his daughter. That is the mother. She's the mother. Ignatius is the mother.
Okay, she's the mother, but the father is not the father.
Not the father.
The
Yes.
assumed father is not the father.
Yes.
Okay.
So
who was the father?
Mr.
The
Ibe.
father went for. Okay.
Okay. So Mr. Ibe got angry, and he got fed up and said, okay, that he's going to cancel the plans. So he started having that social issue from then, and Mr. Beppo then asked her if the daughter have gotten to know about the fact that the father is not her father. Yes, and she said no, but her son is beginning to develop some senses concerning it and is asking some unpleasant questions concerning such things. So Beppo tried to calm the situation, and he said, for a brief account, they said bring in his accounts, like the type of personality that Beppo has, and they're like, he's a man that is a good leader. He jokes a lot, but he's still a strict person. They used some illustration like him telling the students that you can pass my height, but you cannot pass my sight. That is indicating during exam hall or exams that you can be cheating and maybe his height cannot get to you, but his eyes surely get to you. They also used some other illustration that his skin is so fair that when they were in farm, like when they were farming their parents in those days, that an ant called Salamo ant usually bite or beat his siblings, but it can't bite him because they have the same color. Yeah, they have the same color between them. So he's a very funny man, and also at the same time strict to his words. And he's so described him as a 6-foot man, and he has a very loud voice, very audible, that he does not need a microphone to speak or communicate to a large crowd. Another incident that happened in another major recount of the story is when he was recalling the incidents that defined his stay at Stardom School. It was when the sacking of Mr. Ayesoro, the government teacher. So it all began when they said a story when a woman, Mrs. Ladili, was in her parlor watching TV or television at night. Usually they said she usually chased her children to the room, but her daughter Bibi usually disobeys and break the rules and come out.
Okay, let's be fast because of time.
Okay. So she was watching Nigerian movie. Normally, according to them, 5 months ago she was a Z-World fan, but of recent she developed the love for Nigerian or Nollywood movies. So to cut the long story short, her daughter had a dream of
Ignatius' daughter.
no Ladili
Okay.
of their teacher Ayeso, which she calls him Mr. Wala. He's a man that has deep tribal marks, and in Yoruba they nickname him in the school as Mr. Uwala. So she usually calls him Mr. Wala, and she has a fright for him because of the scars on his face. So she's usually scared of him. To cut the long story short, she dreamt about him and she screamed at the middle of the night, which woke her siblings and also got the mother's attention, and they asked her what happened and she was shouting, Mr. Wala, Mr. Wala. So she petted the girl and told the girl to go back to sleep, and again she had the dream again about him second time. So she called and went to the management of the school, and they transferred him to the Stardom Hub, which means that he terminated his contract with the Stardom schools. So that's
why did they terminate his contract? The school.
Because the girl was
it because of the tribal mark?
Because the girl was afraid of him, and they are afraid of losing the girl and her siblings from the school.
Okay, that was why they sacked a teacher.
Yes.
Because the
girl was afraid, and they are scared of losing the students. That is the daughter and the son.
Was he really sacked?
He was not actually sacked. He was transferred to the Stardom Home.
Okay.
But his contract with the Stardom's group of school has been terminated already.
Okay, continue.
So I think that's all.
Clap for him. Let's put our hands together for him. Let's make it fast now. I'm giving everybody 2 minutes. So take it a little fast. Because we don't have time, and I don't want the video to be too long. All right. So
chapter 5 started with it was a school during break period, and the students and the staff of the school were, although it was time for lunch, the students mostly do take that time to play. So, and then the teachers, the staff as well, they do move around to ensure the students were playing carefully. You know, there have been cases where a student broke his arm. So Mrs. Ibidon Gloss, who is the managing director of the school, decided to use that moment to take a rest in her spacious office.
The break period.
Yes.
Okay.
So she normally do that, even though it was kind of a top secret in the school that she do take that rest, but most that knew she do take the rest didn't also know that she had this health condition concerning her buttocks. She do have this peppery feel whenever she has sat for long. So
that is the same thing I'm having here.
So while she was there, she also decided to now take a walk around the school. Taking the walk, approaching the gate, the security guards there helped opened the gate for her, and then wanted to accompany her out, but then she asked one of them to remain at the duty post while only one, Jumbo, accompanies her. She decided to walk around and inspect. There was this piece of land that the school got 2 years ago. So on getting to the land, she observed there were many cars parked there. She was surprised and shocked. How come? So she inspected, and in order to make sure it was really owned. Okay, I think the security man that accompanied her explained to her that it belonged to the staff of the school. She was shocked, and then in order to so this really belongs, she checked, inspected, and saw the Stardom school's stickers in the cars. So that was when she knew that, oh, so
All the cars belong to the...
Yeah, there were plenty of them, the Toyota, a lot of models, and she also saw 2 buses, one white and one with the Lagos yellow color. She was wondering if some of the staff were cheating on her by engaging in public transport business.
Okay.
And then that was when she now decided to call the principal, Mr. Beppo Adewale, and the school accountant.
All this while was Beppo back to school?
Yes.
Okay.
And the school accountant, Jeremy. So when they came, they greeted her. She asked, how safe is this school? The school accountant, thinking they didn't know the angle she was coming from, was like, great things are happening in this school. She said, the MD said, this is not what I called for, not for motivational speak, like how safe is our account and the school. So that was when they knew the angle she was coming from. The principal decided to talk first, but first asked the security guard to move back to his post. The principal now asked Mr. Ibidon plus the MD, let them go back to the office and then they will explain better. On getting to the office, they explained to her that while most of the staff got their money for the cars from various personal means, loans and others, most of them got it from the school's cooperative.
Like they borrow it, or?
Yes, like a loan. So the MD, although the explanation calmed her, it still raised another question, like how fat is this school cooperative account that it could loan such amount of money that the staff
are buying cars,
yes, this amount of cars. And how he phrased it was like that he could afford every fool. So it was a foul language that the principal and the accountant, they didn't really sit well with it, and they knew that if the physics teacher and the vice president, if they were to be there, they wouldn't take it due to their extroverted nature. So the next day, the MD called a meeting of the board of directors, of the director, which included most of her family members, the MD's mom, who was the chairman of the board, their last born, and they were 3. So they not willing to take chances. The MD asked how much.
Okay, please summarize.
How much they had. They said it was 95 million, but they had.
The school had 94 million.
95 million.
95 million.
Yeah, but has already lent out about 50 million as a loan.
Oh.
So they reached a conclusion that a staff can't borrow more than 250,000 naira anymore. So the title of the chapter is A Snake in the Roof, because
a snake in the roof.
Because the MD addressed the whole stuff, saying it is not advisable to lend such amount of money, that it's more like hanging a snake on your roof and going to sleep.
So what was the maximum amount that they were allowed to borrow? 250. But before they can borrow, they borrowed as much as 50 million. All right. So that was a good one. Let's give our
Master, which is the novel that we are reading for 2025 JAMB, and the title here is Ade as well as Comes versus Come. Here in this chapter 6, it was all about the open day ceremony. The open day ceremony is like a day where the academic and non-academic staff meet with the parents of students that are attending Stardom Kiddies. So it is named open day, but it can also be called PTA meeting, as like the normal language that we know, parent teacher association. So that day, it was a special day where teachers are expected to come in their best look, and after this ceremony, any teacher that comes out the best, maybe appearing more appealing to parents and all the rest, is being rewarded at last. And also in this same day, some teachers might be sacked because of inappropriate dressing or flouting dress code. And also in this same day, some teachers are expectant of negative and positive stuff. What do I mean by expectant of negative or positive stuff? When I'm talking about the positive side, A family known as the family of the Bai family are known for their, let me just say their giving habits. Like this family work in a beverage company, so whenever this open day ceremony comes, they come to give the teachers that pleases them, like they are in good term with, they will give them beverages. But in the other side, this same day, some parents come with complaint to the principal, to the director. They will complain. And one of the example is Mr. Guta, the father of Deborah and Nicholas. Mr. Guta found an error. He termed it as an error in her daughter's notebook, and SS2 girl, that the teacher taught them Ade as well as Jide comes and not come. So the man was objecting that it's supposed to be Ade and Jide come and not comes. So at this point, there was a misreaction in the air, and when he was reporting to the MD, which is Mr. Ibudu Glons, Mrs. Ibudu Glons did not take, let me just say, an accurate decision or accurate step in approaching this matter. He asked the principal to go and call Mr. Fafo, who is in SS2 teaching. So Mr. Fafo was not happy when Mr. Beko called him out of the class. He could not drop his note with the students to copy, because it has been made a law in the school that no teacher should give out his or her notes to a student to copy on the board or to dictate for others, because there was an accountant who worked with an oil company who was not happy when she found out that her daughter copies notes or the teacher's notes on the board for students. The woman sued the school for, let me just say, visual exploitation, and he also sued them for career enforcement. They wanted their daughter to study medicine, but maybe doing that teaching on the board can make their daughter to change mind to now become a teacher, which they don't want. So the woman sued them, and after all said and done, court trials and everything, the school decided to compensate the woman with a one-term free, like they will not pay a school fees for a term, and also they suspended the teacher for 3 months without pay, but the teacher's name was not named here. So back to what I was saying concerning Mr. Guta. The Mr. Guta report becomes so critical that Mrs. Ibudu Glons have to summon all the staffs and everybody. They came to her office, and there and then she asked Mr. Bipo to tell Mr. Fafo. Mr. Fafo is the English teacher in Stardom Kiddies, to pack his stuff, that it's time for him to leave. So in the process of trying to understand what was going on, the principal was not happy on how the order was being given. So Mr. Bepo was not happy because most of the sack letters or dismissal of teachers are being done through him, and he feels the pain of sacking teachers automatically like that, because he himself, he has been in a shoe whereby he was unemployed for some years, and he knew what it means to stay unemployed for even weeks. So when the issue, Mr. Bepo tried to understand why Mr. Fafo wants to be sacked. So that was when the MD made it known to Mr. Bepo that the English teacher, which is Mr. Fafo, taught the students Ade as well as Jide comes, that is supposed to become. So as we all know that Mr. Bepo is an English, he studied English and history education in the University of Benin, and so he has a high knowledge of English. So he cleared the air there that when we use as well as alongside with, that it comes with a single verb, but when we use Ade and Jide, it comes with a plural. So when he cleared the air in the MD's office, the MD was not satisfied with his explanation. So he asked the other staffs there, the teachers, that they should bring out their phone and check in the internet if it was correct. So they did the same thing, and everybody knew that Mr. Bepo was correct, while Mr. Guta and the MD were wrong.
So what's the correct thing?
The correct thing is Ade as well as Jide comes, not comes.
Because as well as always go with what?
A singular verb. So there, but this did not stop the MD from sacking Fafo, the English teacher. At last, Mr. Fafo was sacked. But one thing that was, let me just say, emotional part of it was that Mr. Fafo has been punctual, has been optimistic and diligent with his work. In fact, he lived in outskirts of Lagos. He lived at Ijayi, the boundary between Lagos and Ogun State. So most of the times he leaves his house early. For example, he leaves his house by 4 a.m. in the morning, and he arrives to school by 6 a.m. and at this period he will sleep till 7 when the normal school curriculum will start. But despite all these things, due to let me not say he's not wrong, but due to maybe what Mr. Guta saw in his daughter's notebook and came to report that it was wrong, and that was how a good and an honest teacher was fired. Thank you so much. This is the summary for chapter 6.
Let's put our hands together for him. That was a very good one. That was a very good.
It was all about the reflection of Pebble at the Biwe group of school. The time he was teaching at the Biwe group of school, when he had an argument with the director and Meko about the name of the school, Biwe group of school, that it's supposed to have been Biwe group of schools instead of Biwe group of school, because group of implies multiple entities. But the director argued with him, but Pebble still said that you can't say group of man, that it is group of men. But the director said there is no need of him changing the name of the school again. Besides, that was the name used to register on the Minister of Education, something. So he still said that is the student complaining, or is the government complaining that it does not affect their teaching, that they give good education, that even both internal and external examination, that the children are still doing well. So during the PTA meeting, one of the parents came up with the issue about the grammatical error. Then the director thought that it was Beppo that went about spoiling the school name. So after the PTA meeting, he summoned Pebble to come to his office to discuss the matter, but it was not Beppo that said. So that was not the main reason why Beppo left Biwe group of school. It was because of what he saw at night, when he saw the director and some group of men burying a cow alive on the school environment. Then he went out and asked that why are they burying the cow?
What was Biwe group of school? What was Biwe group of school?
Outset of...
No, I mean, I thought Beppo was teaching in Stardom.
This was just a reflection back to
where he was he's reflecting back at where he was teaching before.
Yes.
And why he left.
Yes.
That he saw them burying cow.
Yes.
Okay.
Alive.
Continue.
So he asked them whether are they burying the cow alive. Then they asked, who are you? So he noticed he realized the voice. So when he walked closer, it was the director and some other men. Then after then when he met the director said that it was not a occultic this thing, that it was just a spiritual prayer.
With cow.
That's what he said, that it was just a spiritual prayer on his late father that gave them the land that they are using for the school. So Pebble thought about it, whether he should report the matter to the higher authority, but he later leave it. Then that's the way he left the school. He left Biwe group of school and later went to Stardom. That's the summary of chapter 7.
Alright, that was a good one. Let's clap for her. So, why did Beppo leave Biwe's group of school? Because of what? Is it because the name of the school was not correct? Why? These are questions they can ask. So, we saw them burying live cow. And they say they're doing spiritual prayer with cow. Alright, chapter what now? Chapter 8. Who is taking chapter 8? Please, come up. There's no time. Please, 1 minute 30 seconds. 1 minute 30 seconds.
The chapter is actually titled Mission Unaccomplished, and it revolves around the unresolved conflict between two of Stardom Academy students, Banky and Tosh. Mr. Beppo personally felt it was a joke that was stretched too far. It all started during the elective process of the school, the management of Stardom Academy believed that it was good to introduce the students into democracy culture at an early stage. So even in their primary sector, the choosing of their class prefects and everything was, they used to vote to choose for it. Also, during the prefectship position, they had to buy forms. The post of the head girl and the head boy, the forms was bought for 50,000 naira, and their deputies was bought for 40,000 naira. And other, yes, the forms for the head girl and head boy was bought for 50. No, they just buy the forms for 50,000 naira and the deputies for 40,000 naira. Then other positions like the social prefect and the health prefect were bought for 25,000 naira. After that, they also had to give a speech on speech day. So it was during this speech day that Banky, which was the student, actually said a sentence about Tosh's father that aggravated Tosh. So while Banky was giving his speech on speech day, he was actually running for the post of social prefect, and his main opponent, Tosh, was also running for the post of social prefect. So he said that instead of voting for the father of an ex-convict, he was referring to Tosh, vote for me and you will never regret it. So when he said that, Mr. Beppo, who was sitting with other academic staff, actually felt that it was wrong. So he went to approach Banky and asked him why he would say such a sentence talking about this father of his students, the father of his students. While he was still talking to Banky, Tosh got angry and left. So the supporters of Tosh became angry and was requesting for the speech day to be cancelled and held again. Tosh's parents were also very angry, so they sued the parents of Banky and requested that apology letters be written to them and Tosh, and the apology letters also be posted publicly on the school's magazine. Banky's parents refused, and their lawyer requested for a video of their son Banky actually saying that to Tosh, and they also said that he did not mention the name of Tosh's father, which is Chief Oba. He just said the name of their opponent. He just said his opponent. So the matter was going back and forth, lingering, and that was one of the things that Beppo did not want to leave unresolved before leaving the country. So that's all.
Chapter 9 of the book Lekki Headmaster, titled Laughing Waterfalls. So chapter 9 discusses the excursion practices of Stardom schools, and it also emphasizes on the importance of excursion, because through excursion you could visit so many places and know historical and natural sites of Nigeria and beyond. Now, over the past decade, Stardom School have made it a commitment to go on excursions, and even just one student are always taken out for excursions as a welcome package. Now, Beppo, the principal, was a long-time member of the school who advocated the timely excursions for the students. Now, the importance of these excursions was to make the students to know places, because most of the students after school, they are going to vacate for abroad. Now, the chapter also goes into details to various notable sites that the student has visited. They also visited the island, the mainland, and also waterfalls, historical landmarks, and so many places. So this helps them to know their culture more and more better. And lastly, for the summary, was that Beppo also went through the historical background of slavery in Africa. So this made him ponder a question of how it's going to be in Europe since he was going to a white man country. That's all.
Alright, let's to the school. He said what was given to JS1 students as welcome package. Excursion. In the option you can see 50,000 naira was given to JS1 students as welcome package, 200,000. But what was given is what? Excursion. Alright, please chapter 10 will be taken by
passport pin. Okay, because Mr. Beppo has not been keen on relocating to abroad. It wasn't his wish to travel abroad because of how he loved his students. So, but after some weeks, his family kept on pressuring him to travel out. So because he was not keen to traveling abroad, he never considered renewing his passport early. So as the day went by, the passport became 2 years out of date. So he thought of calling an officer at the immigration office to renew his passport, but he couldn't do that until pandemic took over the country and the whole world. So after the pandemic was over, that is the COVID-19, he was also among the first people that went to the office for the renewal of their passports. So at the first quarter of the year 2022, Mr. Beppo decided to renew his passport. So he heard of the bad stories. That is, if you're going for the passport office, there are a lot of crowds and all this stuff. So this thing gave him some discouragement, and then he thought of another alternative, which was paying a higher amount of money to the officer so that they could do his own fast. And then other options was to go to other nearby immigration office. So he actually inquired of how to pay a larger amount of money to those officers there, and they told him that he should bring the sum of 200,000 or 250,000 naira for them to prepare his passport in 1 month or less than. So he also agreed. So after which he now heard the announcement from the government that anybody that is caught in this act will be imprisoned, and any officer that is also caught in an act of bribing will also be penalized. So all this thing gave him some discouragement. So he later decided to go with the other option of going to the nearest immigration offices, which is found in Ogun State, Osun, Oyo, and Kwara. So he finally decided to go to that one in Osun. So he decided to go there, and then he boarded a vehicle at the Ojota Park in Lagos. He boarded a 6-passenger Sienna. So when on his way to Ibadan, he was actually going through the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. When Stardom Academy went for excursion at Ibadan 10 years ago, that's a decade ago, he actually saw a lot of things, that the roads was broken and the movement was actually slow. So on this time he was going for his renewal of his passport, he saw that the road has been renewed, that his government has done a great work and the whole road was transformed. So when they went 10 years before, they actually, what was on the road was just some few churches, which was CPM and the Mountain of Fire. So at this time when he was going for his renewal, he saw that there are a lot of businesses, a lot of schools, a lot of churches that has erected at the road. So he actually applauded and commended the government for that good work. So when he finally got to Ibadan, he saw some transformations as well, a lot of businesses that were erected, and some of them the owners had not put a signboard there. So he actually saw a lot of businesses that also they erected after they left for the excursion. So this also gave him some, he also applauded the government for the transformation as well. So but as he was going, he now saw some brown roofs as well, of which did not change. So that now gave him a flashback of a novel he read some time ago, which talks about the red the brown roofs. So he actually forgot some lines in the novel, so he decided to Google it out, and the Google showed it up to him, and he was actually reading some of it, where the novel actually talked about things found under the brown roofs and the cluster of goats at Ibadan. It's actually talking about Ibadan. So at the course of searching for that novel, he saw another novel that also talks about brown roof stuff. So he said he's going to read that one later. So when he got to the park, finally he came down, and the officer he contacted for the renewal of this thing was Mr. Tai, who initially he thought was one of the officers at the immigration office. So when he got there and he talked with the man scheduled 7 a.m. in the morning. So there was no way he could get there 7 a.m. in the morning if he did not lodge somewhere closer to the immigration office. So he lodged, and at the midnight he had a long call with his wife. So he slept very late, around 3 a.m. So that made him to wake up a bit late. He woke up around 6:05 in the morning. So he had to rush and finish. He entered the road by 6:25 in the morning, and then he
woke up by what time?
He woke up by 6:05.
And he started the movement by
6:25.
And it was scheduled for
7 a.m.
Okay.
So when he actually got to the place, the Agodi Park, that's the name of the immigration office he was going, Agodi Park immigration office or something like that. So he got there around 6:40. So he actually thought that as he woke up by 6:05 that he wouldn't meet up that time, 7 a.m. because he knows how transport in Lagos used to be, just traffic and all of that. So but it was a different case in Ibadan. He woke up around 6:05, started road by 6:25 and got there by 6:40. So he was very much amused. So when he got there, he never wanted to call Mr. Tai. He wanted to go into the office, and he was restricted by some officers there, and they asked him what he came for. He explained that he actually came to see somebody for the renewal of his passport. They say he should call the person for confirmation. So he called Mr. Tai, and in contrary to what he actually expected, Mr. Tai directed him to come opposite to the building. So he actually didn't enter into the office. He went outside to meet Mr. Tai, where he saw other businessmen. So it turned out that Mr. Tai was neither an officer at the immigration office nor a domiciled person. That means somebody that is residing in that place. He's just a businessman that comes and works hand in hand with the officer, the main officers there.
Wow.
So he met with Mr. Tai, and Mr. Tai initially told him that the fee is supposed to be for 70,000 naira, but he should pay the sum of 100,000 naira so that they will boycott the two processes of data processing and capturing, so that he would be very fast. So he actually paid the 100,000 naira to Mr. Tai, and Mr. Tai wrote down his details, and it turned out that his passport his NIN, national identification number, need to be renewed. So Mr. Tai filled it up and gave it to him and directed him to meet an officer at the office. So he got there, and the officer took his details and went inside. 15 minutes later, he came out and gave him the result and told him that he needs to go to the NIN office and renew it, and then come back to the immigration office 3 weeks later. So he said, okay, but after the whole thing happened just in 15 minutes, he was expecting to be there for long. He was very much amazed, and I asked the officer whether is that all. The officer told him yes, that's the reason for the extra money he paid, and he was very much amazed and gave the officer extra 2,000 naira tip for the fastness of everything. So they asked him to come back 3 weeks later. So he left, and he went to the NIN office. So he also wanted to show he also wanted to be nice with the officers at the NIN office. So but it was a different case altogether, because there was a network congestion, so the thing did not run smoothly. He actually spent time that he was not supposed to spend, even if he gave some tips to the officer like he did at the immigration office. So he was a tipper. Yeah. So that's the summary. So at this time, they also told him to come back 3 weeks again. So his traveling schedule was almost risked at this time. Like he was almost risking his travel. Yeah.
Thank you very much. That was a nice one. Let's put our hands together for him. That was a very nice one. Now, one question they can ask you to mention one thing that remained the same 10 years before Beppo went for that immigration stuff. One thing that remained the same was what? The brown roof, right? And they can also ask you to list some of the changes that was seen 10 years after. Some of the changes, business everywhere, road network, right? All right, so chapter 11, the second to the last chapter and the last chapter. So chapter 11 will be taken by choice. So let's clap for us.
Headmaster, which is titled Point of No Return. So,
Point of
no return.
no return.
So in this chapter, the summary is about when Mr. Beppo, he called the Emirates Airlines and told them that he wants to postpone his flight. So they told him that he's going to pay $100 fine, in which the school paid on his behalf. So after that, they did some activities like yes. So after that, they did some activities like for his farewell, like farewell celebration. So on Wednesday, the games master, Mr. Ibe, organized a match between staffs and students in which the staffs won, because he was partial, because anytime the student want to score, he will blow. He was also the referee, sorry to say. He will blow the whistle and like he will like cut them short, something like that. So after the games, the staffs won 3-2. On Thursday, they did a debate titled the arts have contributed more to the development of the country than the sciences, in which the SS3 opposed the motion and the SS2 proposed it. So they were having a debate, and the SS3, they were like, science is better because of our technology. They have contributed to health, technology, and so on and so forth, transportation and the rest. And then the arts, they're like, in which they said that Wole Soyinka had won the Nobel Prize in Science. Wole Soyinka earned the Nobel Prize for Literature as far back as 1986, in which, and whereby sciences, they have not won any prizes at all. And then on Friday, they did some activities like drama, dance, and some other performances, in which Beppo was glad about, something like that. And after the end of all these activities, the MD had to give him $10,000 as like a token or a reward.
$10,000. Wait, they gave $10,000 to
Mr. Beppo
because he was leaving his school.
And he was also like one of the best principals.
Because he was leaving.
And also one of the best principals Stardom has ever had. So that's all.
Alright, let's
Name be done. So this was the chapter where Mr. Beppo was to leave the country. So so Mr. Beppo woke up very early that day, because he did not want to repeat what happened 6 years earlier, where he missed his flight and has to pay $100 to be able to be pardoned to follow the next flight. So he woke up this time around. He woke up very early because last time he mistook his time to be 1 p.m. instead of 11 p.m. See, 11 p.m. Yeah, 11 a.m. He mistook 11 a.m. to be 1 p.m. So his wife made sure that he called him to remind him to be sure to wear his glasses, to be sure that what was written there was actually 10 p.m. He said yes, he was sure, that he was 100% sure. He was like, okay, so he was packing, he was preparing to leave, and then he said that in the novel, they said that he would have left, because he left by 3 p.m. They said that he would have left an hour late, which is by 4 p.m. But because there is no bike, because previously in the past there used to be bike, because even if there is traffic, as long as there is bike available, it's your messiah that day. So because of that, he has to leave by 3 p.m. This time around, he left very early. Even though his flight was by 10 p.m., he left by 3 p.m. So as he was about to book an Uber to leave, he heard a knock on the door, and when he went there, it was the landlord, Mr. Mr. Ogo Nuwari. I don't know how to say. Yes, and it was the landlord, the landlady, and their two grandchild, which is Kemi and Jide, and they came to bid him farewell. And the landlord offered to give him a ride to the airport. He was like, it's okay, it's fine, I can do it. He was like, no, he wanted to appreciate him for all the good things he has been doing for them. So he was not like, okay. So the Jide, the boy, the little boy, was like, he was going to like that he wants to follow him. So the grandfather was like, is he to London? I'll be to the airport. He said London, but the grandfather said that he would follow him to the airport. Then next week, people will come and carry him to London, and that's the landlord said some prayers for him and went to bring out his car to take him to the airport. And he bought some stuff for his wife, Mrs. Seri. Okay. Other teachers too came. Mrs. Ape, the CRK, and Miss Audu. They all came to follow him to the airport. They even came to actually escort him to the airport, but the landlord has already offered that. So they all went to there, they bade him farewell, they all chatted for about 3 hours before they now left, because they were coming from far places, so they had to leave early. So after that they left, and Mr. Pepo was still there. He dozed off at some point. He had a dream about where slavery, they were flogging them, they were piercing their body and all of that. So when he actually shouted at the airport. He shouted no at the airport, like he shouted a very long no that attracted people's attention. So the attendant there told him that, whispered into his ear that it was time to leave. So actually by 10:45 the plane actually left. And then the scene now opened at the school on a Monday morning. Everywhere was cool, no more people. So everywhere was the children, the students were already expecting. Normally on any other Mondays and Thursdays, people used to be at the gates to welcome even the buses, all of that. So that day there was no people.
There was a ritual always done on Mondays and Thursdays. They sing what?
The second stanza.
The second stanza of national anthem.
And there was no people. Everyone, before they not like felt the pain, but now this Monday, everyone now felt the pain of his absence. Everywhere was quiet and void of spaces of Mr. Beko. So the Mr. Grace Ape tried to speak, but she couldn't at some point. So the MD took the mic from her and told them that everything is going to be fine, that they are going to have a new principal, but nobody, they did not even accept that. So as she was about to say another thing, a voice echoed from the back that he shouted principal. That's what they fondly call him actually. So they shouted, everyone was like, yeah, is it true? So they now turned back. They now saw him opened his arms, saying that he's back. He was actually crying, saying he's back.
He's not
leaving. Yes.
So did he actually go to, or he fell down from the plane?
Yeah, they said that Monday after Bepo's departure. So I don't actually know.
Okay, so
but I don't think he left, because after the dream they said the plane took off as Bepo. Because I don't know. I think it's the dream that actually made him to not go. Because I don't know, I don't see the reason why they would put the dream. But so I think it was the dream, because the dream was how the white people turned the black people to slave and took them out. So I think
let me get it straight. It was in the airport he was dreaming, right?
Yes.
And it was in a dream he was
seeing slavery, they were flogging them, whipping them.
And he shouted no as
Yes.
Then the
When
attendant
they
told him that it was time to leave.
Yes.
So when the attendant woke him that it was time to leave, what then happened? He said, no, I'm not going. Oh,
No, they know it was.
it was not indicated.
Yeah.
All right.
They
So
said that they persuaded him to come himself and hurriedly get on board.
so all we know from the story is that Beppo came back.
Yeah.
Right. Whether you went there, let's put hands together for us. Now there are many things. There are many things that are supposed to be said, but because of time, this is a summary. This is a summary. And please, if you've not read the novel, go and read it, because if you read it now, that you've heard summary of the novel, you actually read with understanding. If you've read before and you read it now, you also see that you get to understand more. You get 15 free marks from the novel. All right.